This is my marvellous CNC router table. Rob at Extreme Plasma in England gave it to me a few years ago now, together with the CNC set that drives it. I attached a small Crest router to it, and it's been brilliant ever since. I love it. Thanks again, Rob. I can cut whole sheets of plywood on it, and I do, for all sorts of projects. Hen houses and guitar machines and pizza peels and mocked pedal cars, to name just a few of the things that I can make on my marvellous router machine. But I'm trying to tidy up my workshop at the moment, and for that I need some drawers. Actually, lots of drawers. And for those I wanted to make some finger joints for the corners. You can do this with the router in the normal way, with the timber lying flat on the table. The problem is, of course, that the router bits can't quite get into the corners of the joints because they are round and the corners should be square. So you end up with joints that don't quite fit. You could clean out all the corners afterwards with a file or a chisel, but that's a bit tedious, isn't it? Or you could minimize the problem by using a smaller milling bit, but then you'd have to cut more slowly or they'll just break. So cutting them on the flat isn't ideal. It would work better if you could hold the end of the plank upwards and mill just the end of the plank. That sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Except my router won't reach over the end of the table, even with the limit switch removed. Instead, I cut a hole in the table itself using the router to do the job. Now this is a tiny router really, and the bracket for it is just a homemade job, so none of it is very robust. So I have to take things very gently and make multiple passes, partly because the milling bit was fully extended by the end because it was quite a long way down. Now it's not a very big hole, but I was trying to avoid cutting into the structure that I made underneath. So far so good. The end of the plank will go in there. The real challenge is to secure it firmly but quickly. I used my mag drill to drill a couple of holes through the steel framework . And extended them with a wood bit. And cobbled together a simple vise using threaded bar. And parts of an old shopping trolley for the handles. And ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce that it works really well. Obviously the timber planks that fit in are limited in size, but for the job I'm doing this is plenty big enough. And as you can see, I'm just using smart ply, what used to be called sterling board in the old days. Why am I using that instead of some nice pine boards or oak boards or ash boards or something? Because this is the cheapest material I can buy here. Well, I could buy MDF, but you know that's not very nice for milling because of the dust. And smart ply will do, I think. cutting 4 planks at the same time, screwed together temporarily to keep them aligned. And I drew the shapes so that they fit together if I turn one over. That way I only need one simple drawing for everything, and fewer mistakes should be made. Because anyone who has cut finger joints will know how easy it is to cut where you shouldn't cut, or not cut where you should have cut, or go the wrong side of the line, or misalign them somehow. It's so easy to make a mistake. So mine is as simple as can be. And this is what they look like. Note how square the insides of those joints are, because finger joints have to fit together and line up perfectly, or they look a bit naff really. And these do fit together. So what more could you ask from a hole in the router table and some threaded bar? But drawers need something to slide in, of course, so I cut out a sort of chest for them in the conventional way. And they just knock together with big tenons through the mortises. You can see why I love my CNC machine so much, can't you? So simple and repeatable. Like I say, I want to make dozens of drawers, but here's just the first set. Double height for some of them. And half the height for others. What fun it is to look around for suitable things that fit into the drawers. Very exciting. Now, in case you don't have a CNC router and you still want to make finger joints, do check out Matthias Vandel's marvellous contraption that he made for his table saw. It does a lovely job. I'll put a link up in the description.